Hey, Gloucester Township.
It worked.
I'm Joe Allen here with Keith Gibbons, the most extreme podcaster.
Most extreme, yeah. The number one podcast in all Gloucester Township.
We haven't. Some days you're an extreme leftist. Some days you're an extreme ultra right. I have no idea.
Yeah,
but you're extreme.
All we know is I'm extreme. We don't know which way. Whatever sounds scarier, whatever can scare you guys.
I was thinking about that earlier when I was setting the equipment up, and I was just thinking about the whole extreme thing.
Yeah,
and I'm like, he's so mild-tempered compared to like what's raging out of me that I hold back.
Yeah, that is true.
Sitting here like,
if it
we should burn them alive, and you're like, we can't do that.
Yeah,
we have to be nice. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, so we're talking about the attack mailers and everything that have been going out about me. It's to a degree comical. On the other side, it's infuriating. Like, they just lie right through their teeth, knowing that they lie, creating lies to disseminate to people, legitimately creating a lie to put out. It's just sickening.
Yeah, a lot less people are seeing the stuff now and going,
oh yeah,
I don't believe that anymore. A lot more people are just they look at it and they go,
yeah, they've woken up. We've
bad.
Done our job, Joe, of getting people involved in knowing what's going on in your community and holding your government accountable. That's what we're doing, holding government accountable. We were told by Lou Capelli at a town hall meeting that the way that you fix problems in your town is at the ballot box. So thank you, Lou Capelli. Again, I've thanked you before. Thank you again for bringing that up as a challenge, and I accept your challenge, and we are going to take it up at the ballot box, I guess, this time. You guys can play your dirty games and dirty tricks. I don't know. Hopefully
the whole social media crew. And
actually, I have a funny story. The other day, I go, if any of you guys ever want to come say hi to me, I'm a pretty available person, right? Almost every morning during the weekdays, I go to Lamppost Diner. I see Mayor at Lamppost Diner, and I'm cordial. I say hello and everything. This past week, he was there with Commissioner Nash, who's always usually the person he's there meeting with. There's a longer story there I'm not going to get into, but I knew they were there, and it was pretty funny because a couple people, every time I go in there, people are like, "Oh, hey, Mr. Mayor," and I just, whatever, they're just joking around, They're like, "Hey, the other mayor's here," and they point over, and I look over, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, he's here." It's, they usually, I think it's Fridays they usually go. I think it was like Tuesday that they were there, and anyway, so I'm sitting there. One of the older gentlemen, I go there, there's a bunch of older guys that go there and hang out at the counter, and I just go, hang out with the seniors, talk to them. Sometimes it's the only person I talk to during the day. So anyway, I'm sitting there talking to one guy, and I feel a hand on my shoulder, and it's like, "Hey, Keith," and I turn, and it's Dave Mayer. I was like, "Oh, hey, how are you?" And he shakes my hand,
man.
And Commissioner Nash, because they were getting ready to pay their check. So Commissioner Nash is like, "Hey, how are you? Do you live in town?" I said, "Actually, I do." And Dave Mayer just goes, "Oh, this is Keith Gibbons." He goes, "Oh, well, I would tell you good luck, but that would be awkward." I go, "Yeah, that would be awkward." And I just stared at him, and he stared at me, and then the two of them didn't say another word and just turned around and walked away. But as they were standing there, there was a family coming in, like a husband and wife, and they was holding a little kid. And what the husband says, he goes, "Oh, honey, look, it's the new mayor talking to the old mayor." And he heard it. It was like within earshot. I heard it. He heard it. It was comical. So whoever that guy was, shout out to you. You made my day that day. That was hilarious. But anyway, yes, we're way off topic here. We're here to recap.
Hey, before we go to the recap, though.
Okay.
Look, it is an amazing team of people that across this township that have done amazing things over the last couple of years that have led to this point too. But one of the things that we could ask, at least my biggest part of it, is that you subscribe.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Subscribe, share it out.
I was ready for a big reveal there, but
no, there's not
it's a request. guys tune into the
not a whole lot of money in
podcast.
this operation, nor is there, probably in any of the campaigns that have ever run against the mayor. So best we can do is look, free advertising, man.
Yeah.
It's,
Share it out with your friends. Make some comments down below. Like the video. Subscribe to us. It all helps serve it to other folks that are in our community so that they can learn about the #1 podcast. Right?
yeah.
All right. So what are we recapping? It was September 8th. Was that what it was? We're a little bit late on this because of scheduling issues, so we apologize. September 8th, I think it was.
Yeah, I just got get distracted because the lighting changed.
I know. I was going to say, it
happened.
just got really
The
dark
lighting
for some
changed.
reason. But, all right, you fixed the lighting. I'll talk about, we had David Leader. He asked for some transparency, but he got an apology
Dave
somehow.
Leader, Huntington Avenue, Glendora, R-25:09-322, called for resolution authorizing payment of bills. So I had recently received the instructions on how to find those documents. It's not easy. The computer printouts were not posted on the website. The last posting was for August. And so I suggest that the council table this resolution, I guess it's called, because the public has not had a chance to review the computer printouts that are posted on the website.
That was brought to our attention, Mr. Leader, that the bill list was not posted on Thursday afternoon. Each council member receives the bill list along with the agenda on Thursday afternoon. A request was made for that to be posted on our website. It was not posted until, I believe, early this afternoon. So there needs to be a better job in posting that on our website. So I apologize for that.
So I asked Council President to give me an opportunity to sit down with the Nancy in the clerk's office to determine the process that she followed, because historically everything has been followed according to statutory law in the state of New Jersey. On this particular issue, I want an opportunity to speak with the clerk to see what was the issues in posting those bills, to see if they were appropriate. I would want that opportunity before I respond to your question.
Dave Leader, Huntington Avenue, Glendora, R-25:09-322.
I think it's playing a second time, isn't it? Yeah, we had that. So he's going to do a whole investigation about this, Mr. Carlevere. He asked for permission to speak to the clerk. He's going to get to the bottom. What are the steps that you took? I emailed it to the company we pay $100,000 a year to post something on a website. That's what I did. What investigation do you need to do? It wasn't on there. Anyway,
I think he's got a backlog of investigations.
Yeah.
Skills, probably.
backlogged into the site. He's never. Yeah,
He's got a backlog of investigations for people that don't live in New Jersey anymore.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so we moved on to another investigation. Let's see, clip 2.
Before we go to reading and accept the minutes, we also have a proposal from Remington and Vernick regarding a scope of services and cost proposal for a preparation of a preliminary investigation for a determination of area in need of redevelopment for block 18302 lot 5. This in conjunction to a project on Williamstown Road. Is that correct, Ms. Corbin? Williamstown Road. And Remington Vernick is our engineer of record. So this is
They are one of our top donors.
$8,840 to complete this work. This is a straw poll.
All right, so that straw poll passed, I'm sure.
It did. It did. No, everybody voted on it. $8,000 for that study.
So they can do a copy and paste, put it in a document, and email it off and say, "Yeah, you guys can do whatever you want."
And then send $5,000 back into their campaign.
Yeah. They just have rubber stamps over there at Remington and Vernick. Rubber stamp and everything. There you
There's a
go.
button for that too somewhere, and it's
What,
just
rubber
Yeah,
stamp?
there's a little rubber stamp right on the screen.
All right. So, all right. We then moved on after we paid our pay-to-play vendor, and we'll do here. Let's see, clip 3. What is this?
Next is the ordinance, second reading, public hearing, ordinance 0-25-20. Again, ordinance of the Township of Gloucester, County of Camden, State of New Jersey, adopting amendments to the Blackwood West Redevelopment Plan in accordance with the local redevelopment housing law, NJSA 40A 12A-1 et sec. Again, there are two components to this ordinance. One is to have 6 townhomes, 4 apartments, and a commercial space on the site.
That's
of the
11,
former
right?
PNC
6 plus
drive-thru,
4
and then
plus
also a
1.
med spa.
Checks
on
out.
Black Horse Pike. One of the applicants has asked if we could table this, so I'm going to seek a motion to table this ordinance to further notice.
Why were they both combined? Why is that? I don't understand why that was.
I
I'm
don't
just
know,
going to check that
but
math.
you'll
You
notice-
said 6 plus 6 plus 4.
You'll
that's
notice
10.
there's a lot of people there.
Plus 1 is 11 units on that little. Yeah, 11.
They probably paid somebody $1,000 for that, man.
Mm.
But you'll notice there's a lot of people sitting up front right there,
That was what everybody came for this meeting. There was a lot of people that came.
which to me felt very familiar. It
Like?
it feels like whenever something gets any traction, that people are like, we got to get there and we got to speak on this. Everybody gets there. They got all the fire behind them, and then they go, hey, we're not going to talk about this week. So
This has happened over and over and over.
over and over, everything, warehouses, sewers, whatever people get fired up, it gets moved. And then next thing you know, it's on an agenda, and then maybe there's not a whole lot of talk about it,
Yep.
and then boom, it's through.
Yeah.
So luckily,
That is what happens. Yeah, it's one of those things that I noticed early on when I got involved, and I said, they have patience. If nothing else, they have an end goal. They know the
Yeah.
goal's here, and you need to have patience. You will get there. We will make you extremely rich. You donate to our campaigns here, we will make you rich. Just wait. Just be patient. We might have to delay a meeting or two. It might delay, things by
Yeah.
5-6 months.
we're gonna wear the residents
We'll
out.
get it through.
It's fine.
We know when they're done. We have very good, ears out there and know what's going on. We don't post on Facebook. We know that, we know the temperature though. There's people out there.
Oh yeah.
We've got Connie Lingle out there. We've got
Oh yeah.
We've got other people, that are
Connie's a big time spy.
yeah. There's a lot of people. Hey, Orlando himself says that he's on Facebook, but he doesn't post. He somehow knows everything that goes on.
He's
on
not.
there.
Yeah, I don't believe that he's
There's
in.
ears all over the place. These people that have jobs specifically because they're good, loyal machine employees,
Fake accounts.
and they're like, all right, nobody's really talking about that anymore. Let's put that on. Let's put that on the planning board
Yep.
thing and get that through or whatever. But again, this is one of the big problems that we've been talking about. This whole designation of area in need of rehabilitation, all these plans that they're able to do because council is the redevelopment entity. Because of that, that's all needs to go, in my opinion. So
Yep.
anyway, let's move on. That being pulled did not stop everybody from having their opinion and expressing their opinion about what they came for. Give them the floor, let them talk about it. There's not an actual vote on it, so people are allowed to have free speech here. They allowed them to speak their mind, and we have a lot of clips of people's opinion about that, right?
Yep.
I don't remember where we left off and where are we at?
Appointing
4?
members to the Gloucester
Oh, wait.
Township Zoning Board.
Yeah, let's see. Yes, we had it. Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry.
Resolution 330, resolution appointing members to the Gloucester Township Zoning Board of Adjustment.
May I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Second.
On the question? Roll call, please.
Mr. Mignon?
Yes.
Mrs. Albright Troxel?
Yes.
Mrs. Grace Love?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat again, Council President?
This here?
Resolution points to the zoning board.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay.
That didn't matter.
Right. Just
They're
know what
asking
to
you
say.
for a vote. We know what you.
Have you ever?
Have you ever said anything else
I'm
other
sorry,
than yes?
Miss Grace. Could you point to a time you've ever said no? All right.
All right. So next up is the response. So Nancy Kelly Gentili. Is that, I don't know if that's how you say it or what.
Yeah, Gentili. Yeah.
Okay. She emailed in about the solar program.
Yeah. So a lot of people got a letter that appeared to come from the mayor's office, but we find out that it actually wasn't that.
This is from Nancy Kelly Gentili, I've been trying for 3 days to get additional information on the community solar energy program from Solar Landscape. I have been unsuccessful, no callbacks, and I'm being told by Solar Landscape that I need to complete the online enrollment form to be told when this program may be specifically available in Gloucester Township. Since this letter originated with Gloucester Township Mayor, I'm asking you to provide answers, please. Paragraph 3 says a discount rate is guaranteed for 20 years, but the solar company says is a monthly credit, not a discount rate, and may vary. Can you please explain? I was informed that the program may or could be available within a year, but I'm not able to get specifics. Can you provide any insight or when this program is available for immediate credit to electricity bills?
Look at
If
that
it is a
lectern
year,
there, too, by
wait,
the way. How
why was the
glorious
letter
that
sent
is.
out to the residents if we are not able to enroll and receive immediate benefits? Paragraph 6 states priority given to residents who qualify as low to moderate income. Paragraph 7 states benefits of solar energy are available to all residents, regardless of where you live and regardless of income. Clarify if there's an income preference or not. I have questions about the letter that was sent to Gloucester Township residents. Who requested it to be sent out? Who in-house or what company prepared this letter? The letterhead is incorrect as it lists Miss Winters as still being on council in August of 2025. Where was the address list obtained from? How many of these letters were sent? How much did this solar landscape letter to the residents cost us? And did Gloucester Township residents pay for this letter to be sent out to us? Solar Landscape estimates that the discounts will begin appearing on PSE&G or Atlantic City electric bills of enrolled households starting this winter and continuing throughout 2026. In regard to the discount rate, just like a house with rooftop solar gets credit for the power that's generated by its solar panels, community solar subscribers get solar credits for the power that's generated by their share of the community solar project. With the support of state and federal renewable energy incentives, Solar Landscape provides clean power at a discount and passes that savings on to the subscribers. Your electric bills, electric utility bills will include your discounted solar credits, which reduce what you owe on your electricity bill. The discount rate is guaranteed for 20 years and will never decrease. In regard to the letter not being able to enroll and receive immediate benefits, subscriptions and at least a 15% discount have limited availability. After enrolling, you'll receive an email from Solar Landscape when your assigned project is energized. Typically, it will take 1 to 3 billing cycles after your project is energized to begin receiving solar credits on your bill. In regard to the qualify as a low or moderate income and the benefits, or if there's an income preference, community solar is open to everyone. There's no income requirement to enroll. However, if you qualify as a low to moderate income subscriber, Solar Landscape may be able to prioritize your enrollment so you can be receiving solar credits sooner. The request, Solar Landscape responded to a request for proposal, and as a result of it, they were selected and they sent the letter out on behalf of the mayor's office.
Oh, there you
The letter
go.
was prepared in collaboration with the mayor's office. Unfortunately, it still had Councilwoman Winters' name on it. She resigned at the end of June. The list was purchased. That was purchased by Solar Landscape from a third-party data vendor. The geographic boundaries of New Jersey and the address points of New Jersey are publicly available data. How many of these letters were sent? Approximately 24,000 letters were sent out.
Okay, so we did have something in there that we had a shout out to somebody for catching what name was wrong.
Oh,
there.
right. Yeah.
And I don't have it pulled up in front of me, but it was played in that clip over there. But there was someone. I don't know how we can pull that up easily.
Oh, man.
We failed you guys. There's an easy way to. But there was. Yeah, they sent this letter out. So basically, what that said in summary there was that they put a request for proposal, an RFP out there for some company to offer something that you could sign up for and get credit back to your electric bill without having actual solar panels. It's like a community solar program. However, the hook of the whole thing is that right now we're using it as campaign material that you guys may have gotten in your your mailbox here. It's not actually available till 2026. There, as you heard in there, Nancy had called. I forget the name of that solar company they just said, but they called the solar company and asked for details, and really didn't get much details. It was kind of like you can sign up for it, but none of this is guaranteed. None of this is. But we're using it to literally run campaigns that you're outraged about your electric bill, soaring electric rates. It's unbelievable, the things that they use to campaign on. But so the guy that won, he had what?
Even if he's not your mayor, you still get the program.
Yeah, that's right. True. Even if he's not your mayor, so
this company wants to make money.
I should literally start running outraged. Keith Gibbons got you campaign
Keith
electric.
Gibbons is getting you
it
solar
really
panels.
wasn't him. It's not him. It's another private company. But we have one guy responded back with the what was wrong with the letter that came out. They said Orlando Mercado is still council president. That's what's wrong with it. What was his name?
Dave Johnson.
Dave Johnson. So shout out to Dave Johnson.
And then people that answered the question right was Patricia Pearson Reichert. Who else? Sam Sweet. He knew.
Yeah.
Brian Robinson knew. And Wendy Dobelman knew.
All right. So, shout out to all you guys for getting the answer right of what was wrong with this picture.
And Samantha Richmond said, kick them all out.
Kick them all out. All right, Samantha. All right. We have, let's see here. There's another topic here.
And Aqua Water's toxic chemicals right now has a 5-year, since 2015, the EPA's taken over that. And they've had arsenic, lead, copper at the last 5-year check in 2024. It's supposed to be posted in these buildings, and I don't know why it's not. When I asked Mr. Carlemere about the red zone at Camden County College, he said Camden County College has its own entity. It's not owned by Gloucester Township. Well, it is owned by Gloucester Township. They don't have to pay taxes to Gloucester Township, but they have to pay other bills to Gloucester Township. The red zone in 1987 to 2010, when I taught there as a college professor and as a trainer for the police department, and I lived in that township, the water was shut off. And I'm sure Mrs. Troxel can remember that too, because she worked there. We had no water because it was shut off because the water was contaminated for all those years.
Only in certain buildings.
Well, no, it was all contaminated.
Ms. Parrish, thank you. Your time
You're
is
welcome. I'll bring the rest up to the next meeting, but I'd like the answers to that.
But then she said she didn't want them this time. She wanted them next time. So not sure.
Yeah, she didn't want instant answers. Probably just because she has a level of expectation, and she's like, I'm not even gonna ask for it right now. But I also don't know why that Troxel wasn't like tasered for talking out of place, because you're not allowed to do that in these council meetings anymore.
Yeah.
Also, I just kind of have a thing, man. I looked into Aqua here. I got the same Aqua there that Camden County College has over there. And I meant to grab the, there's a website that does testing on water. And she is actually right. There are levels of, it's like solvents. It was a bunch of different things. Basically, it was enough for me to look at and then have somebody come out here and quote like a full home filtration system, because
will that stop like whatever that the contaminants are, like a home filtration system? And if it will,
but it's several levels. It's several levels. So basically, like I would need a filtration system coming into the house. Like as soon as it comes into the house, I need a level of filtration system there. Then you can add a softener, and then like at my drinking water parts, I would need reverse osmosis. It's a $6,000 system they propose. You can actually get them for about $2,000 if you don't go through.
So if you as a homeowner can do it, why can't that water be filtrated prior to getting to your home?
I guess because it costs Aqua more money, and they are
a for-profit company.
It's a for-profit company, so
Interesting. So
I
they're
don't
allowed
know.
to get away with a certain level of contaminating people. That's what
yeah,
I'm
and
saying.
it's funny
Okay.
because what was that township that had reached out? Member from a different township reached out to us earlier.
Oh, earlier today?
Was it Hillsborough? Hillsborough?
Hillsborough, I feel like, yeah.
I think Hillsborough Township trying to sell their sewers, their water system,
Yeah.
because of contaminants in there. And my thought when I saw that was, I don't know. I know Aqua. I don't know what the tests look like on American water systems, but like just a heads up to them, like that might not even cure the problem completely, because there are certain things that are kind of acceptable
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
on
it's an
some-
acceptable level.
yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, it's okay.
for like
That's
a for-profit company. Like it's acceptable, but like from a company that actually cares about your health, it's not.
Right.
So it is something that I
would say water is a human right. I mean, you should have a right to water that's not going to kill you. That's
man, you would think you
Yeah.
dig your own well and set your own system up, but I'm not even sure if I can dig my own well in my yard. Is that even a thing? I'm not sure.
You'd probably have to pull a permit for it. You can't have that well digging machine.
Me
out
getting
there.
a permit in this town is probably not going to happen.
Let's see. All right. So, where are we at? All right. So we had a new person that came out for the.
Oh, this is a familiar
Blackwood
topic
West.
too.
Yeah. Let's play this one.
Brad McNeel, Ohio Avenue, Blackwood.
Good evening.
I know it was tabled, but can we still talk about Ordinance 0?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, sweet. So, going through the meeting from April, I recognized that nobody came to the initial hearing. Let me just say, it's not very easy to find what's going to be discussed. It's, posted in a newspaper, which is a bit of an outdated source. You can do it at a library. Again, not too many people go to libraries anymore, so on and so forth. So even though nobody was there in August, it's kind of a big deal.
It isn't easy to find postings for any that were required as a township.
Yep, that's true.
Exactly. If we only had like a community board that you would just put it on, or 2 community boards,
The digital ones. Wow.
that you could just put the meetings on, or a website that had, other than just fluff on the front page,
Oh,
that actually
that's
showed.
a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, stop trying to convince people that it's a great town.
Yeah.
And just let it be a great town where everybody's informed about everything. That's my thing.
Interesting concept. Let's see how
So-
it works out for him.
You guys talk about the density, right? 14 dwellings where 4 is permitted is just crazy, right? And then office recommends the redevelopment equity carefully consider the proposed density and consider the impact it will have on the established character of the neighborhood. I've been in Blackwood Estates for almost 20 years now. I've seen families move in, a few years later, they get to do the reconstruction that they want, then their kids are born, families grow. We do have a lot of character in this neighborhood, and it's very tight-knit. I mean, I coached her son in baseball and fished with these guys, neighbors. I mean, it's a big deal. And as to the character of the neighborhood, it's like playing a game of Monopoly, right? And everybody has all the greenhouses, and that first red hotel goes up, and it just stands out like a sore thumb. It doesn't fit in. It doesn't work, right? It works for the guy getting paid, but not for everybody that can only afford the green ones, right? So as far as the character of the neighborhood, it's not a good fit. It doesn't bring value to it. It doesn't add value to our neighbors, our homes. It's just greed. Looking at what they're asking for, which is darn near right? You need 2 acres for what they're proposing. They only have 0.64 maximum building coverage, 5%. They're asking for 5 times more than that, almost 27%. Max lot coverage, 15%. They're asking for almost 75%. These numbers are almost 13 feet to the Black Horse Pike when you're going to walk down the street and just run your hand against the wall. It's like they're asking for this stuff and not even caring about what they're doing to the neighborhood. At a certain point, the townhomes got to be done. Across from Penco Tech, on Davistown Road, there's so much, and there's areas for this stuff. But to try to fill every crevice with what makes the developer or the investor the most money for him and his partners without caring about the people that it actually affects, it's just wrong, in my opinion.
Our role, and this will kind of...
But Brad, they donate to our campaigns.
As we're the redevelopment entity. So if there's that is a parcel of land that's included in a redevelopment area, they come and they meet with council as a redevelopment entity. They propose a particular project. There are certain milestones that they would have to meet. Then it goes to a planning board process, and the planning board at that time ensures that they adhere to some of the items that are in that redevelopment agreement and going forward. Impact studies with traffic studies, impacts on school, all those things are done through the planning board process.
They do impacts on schools? That's interesting.
Status. Correct. Okay, but there's certain things that they have to do. Yes, we had.
Why is their audio so bad?
We decided to move forward with
I was getting ready to talk about
status,
that.
But upon a second reading, has to be a second reading in the hearing, and then what we do with that, it will go to the planning board. But when you have a redevelopment plan, it allows you an opportunity to hold that developer to a certain standard. I always give the example of anyone who's attended. If you look at the Walgreens on Blackwood Clementon Road, on Black Horse Pike, the decorative lighting, the streetscaping that took place there, those things had to conform to what we wanted. In downtown Blackwood, if you're putting a project there, because there was another project that was in that ordinance to have a med spa. The med spa is not a required use or permitted use right now. So that individual says, hey, can I have this med spa here? And that was part of that discussion that we had with them. So this gives us an opportunity to take a look at what is in that area, what we think would fit in that area. Does it fit with the character, and Gino brought character, or Mr. McNeel brought character of that particular area? So this is by no way a deal at all. I think that when the attorney had contacted the town and said there's some things that we need to take a look at, perhaps he monitors or she monitors some of the things that take place online. But I wanted to make sure that we're all on the same page.
Yep, they do monitor what's said there, and that's why they pulled it. That's what we said, right?
Yeah, so the audio was extra terrible there. You'll notice a lot of time when speakers are up there at the mic, it looks like it's a little bit edited. I do cut out the long parts where they're thinking or they're reading before they say anything. Big long gaps, I cut that out kind of to condense the podcast up. But the choppiness when council is speaking is actually it's in their audio. So it's bad at sometimes, and then sometimes it goes away. I don't know what it is. There's something in their system though, but that's not on our end.
Yep. All right. So the next person to go up is Dave Leader. Let's play this clip here.
But I went back just now and read the rules for this meeting, and number 7 at the end said that council's intent is to avoid back and forth exchange. Now, if that isn't an anti-transparent statement, I don't know how it could be worded any softer. That is just saying, we don't care what you have to say after we've had our say. Just be quiet, sit back, and wait for the next meeting if you want to bring it up again. Another 2 weeks go by.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know how you could all vote for that. You know, this is United States. This is New Jersey. This is Gloucester Township. These are all our people, the public that you serve, and you're letting them down by not allowing them to have a back and forth, it was in quotes, exchange. This has got to stop. That has to be revised. You have to start respecting the public. The public will stop coming out to these meetings.
That's the point!
If you don't start respecting them and allow for dialogue to go back and forth.
So this is council changed how we ran our meetings, because I'll be very frank with you. Back in December, it was our first meeting in December, and we had someone dragged out of here who had some mental health issues that had been attending our meetings over the years. and they were dragged out of here, and then it was just a circus here. And I don't know if anyone saw on social media up in Cranford in Union County, some guy was breakdancing during the council meeting.
Yeah,
And
that's about what you should do at these meetings. Yeah.
This is not a student council meeting. We're conducting the business of the township. There was back and forth, and people were name calling. I said, no, we're going to give the residents are going to have 5 minutes or 3 minutes to speak, and then we'll respond to those questions afterwards. And everyone's going to be respectful towards each other, and that's how we're going to conduct our meetings. Mr. Leader, if you have 5 minutes, you get a whole 5 minutes uninterrupted. No one's going back and forth. So that's how we've conducted our meetings since January. I believe these meetings are more effective that way. There is no back and forth and fighting and calling of names, and no one's being dragged out of here by the police.
All right, so the point of the guy breakdancing in the meetings was that it was pointless to talk in their meetings because nobody responded to them.
Right.
And that was him making a point. And clearly, they just missed the point.
Right. He could get his same amount done by breakdancing as he would by actually putting thoughtful, dialogue out there. And that's where, he differs. Like, Orlando's the president, of the council there, not Orlando, the council president, does not want any dialogue back and forth. The bare minimum that you're required by law to do is to allow the public to comment, and you don't have to have dialogue back and forth. However, my opinion of it is you should be able to have dialogue back and forth. Get the understanding from the other point of view. If somebody has an opposing view of yours, my opinion of that is you want to listen to them and find out what that opposing view is, because you don't know everything. I know you're a narcissist. The council president is a narcissist and wants to think that he knows everything about everything. But maybe if you actually listened to other people and you had dialogue back and forth, maybe you could learn something from the other side. So,
or maybe if you were really good at your stance on things and you could debate with the person standing at the microphone and let them know why your opinion you feel is a better idea than their opinion.
Right. Vocalize it. Tell us why.
Yeah.
If you know so much, let us know. Why would you deprive us of that information? Your Honor.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean,
dialogue back and forth is how you get to the best solution. If you have a different opinion of me and I have a different opinion, on this podcast we've had differences of opinion, and find out what the other side says. Oh, I never thought of that. You don't know everything. I know you think you know everything, but you don't.
Yeah, it is nothing more. It's only a protection for themselves.
Right.
It has nothing to do with anybody being pulled out of here. That was the
excuse. That's a viable excuse you could use.
They locked onto that. That was the excuse. They have a weak argument. They have a weak argument, and sometimes some of their people say some dumb stuff.
Yeah.
So
it wasn't the public that was getting out of hand. It was your business administrator, and I remember him flipping his lid over, people criticizing, him as well.
So I mean, at some point, the business administrator says something dumb, and then in other spots, when someone that has a behavioral condition and gets pulled out of a council meeting because she is a little too passionate about what she says, sometimes council people say stupid.
She didn't get in line and was the next in line. She was called on intentionally. So let's make that clear.
Yeah. And then
to take away the time from other people that might.
I lost the original clip. It's somewhere on here, but we posted this clip as a joke on
someone dragged out of here who has some mental issues that have been mental health issues that have been attending our meetings over the years.
This was a nut house. Nut house. Nut house. Nut house. Nut house. Thank you for being very respectful.
Yeah.
So that's how it was described later on. as that night was a nut house after we made a comment about a woman that had mental issues.
That they described she had.
That they describe had mental issues. She herself, the woman that was pulled out of there, says that she is under the treatment of behavioral services. But I don't know in that situation that I would have called that night a nut house in that context. I thought was... I'd had some feelings if that was a family member.
Despite whatever label they put, that of her condition, her frustration is the same as other people who have different topics that they bring up to council. So she expressed them differently. It wasn't that she was... How am I trying to say this?
I don't know. Perhaps...
I don't know.
Look, perhaps a better way, a better dialogue of saying, look, this woman has repeatedly come and asked for, on your street signs, to have Braille on there for blind people so that they could find how to contact the police, right? Not something that we should spend.
Not a mainstream idea.
It's exactly not a mainstream idea. They've basically kind of dismissed her. I don't know. There are certain ways that I believe in some people with a different kind of way of thinking, or maybe issues, that you could have a warmer conversation with them to say, look, this isn't something that we can really handle. And in fact, it's not something that we even are allowed to handle.
Well, to be fair, we don't know what conversations were had outside of that meeting there, but I feel like they've attempted to have those, and she might not have wanted. Either way, that is not the reason why they did away with the dialogue. To get down to the brass tacks of all this, that was an excuse that they used to get away from dialogue, because they do not want to hear your opinion. They do not want to have that dialogue back and forth, because their reactions, we've gone over this before. It's like that time when you say your boss is yelling at you and you want to just respond right away. But if you just calm down, let it simmer for a few minutes, you don't have the same reaction. And that's what was happening. They were the ones that were reacting to people's comments to them. They couldn't take the heat, but now that they're trying to level themselves off or cut themselves off, I should say, of responding, it's helping them look a little bit better by not reacting the way that they're reacting.
Yeah, now they can hide behind
and
it.
They also get the final say. So they could say a lie at the end of it and it be not challenged.
Yeah, or they could just simply say, we actually didn't understand your question. And then when you're like, oh, let me clarify, they're like, sit down.
Yeah.
So it's...
Don't clarify anything.
So then, maybe next week you can show up and you can let us know next week what we didn't think that we... Yeah.
Yeah, well, we intentionally didn't answer for you.
So, Jared Thomas.
This is your favorite
Good evening,
cheerleader?
Jared Thomas, Cecilia Drive. I just wanted to confirm, and I understand it's in flux, but what was the original intent that the developer had? Was it... I've seen 8 units, and then I saw 6 townhomes and 3 apartments. Online, I saw 25 apartments. What was the last one that was provided? Do you know?
Jared, after comments, we'll respond.
All right. Well, the reason I'm asking is because, I think the current one that I saw posted on the township website was 6 townhomes, 3 apartments, the retail space. To build off a previous comment before,
Chad, if you were paying attention to whatever it is earlier, by the way,
acres, which is surprisingly small for that much development. I did want to ask a few questions though about it, or at least raise these concerns to the council's attention so that they aren't omitted if a redevelopment plan is put into place. The site is going to potentially be exempt from stormwater as long as, I guess, the new impervious doesn't exceed a 1/4 acre under the stormwater rules. So if that happens, though, they're still going to technically be subject, though, to CCMUA restrictions with regards to releasing stormwater from the site. My understanding is CCMUA doesn't allow any site to exceed the post-development condition for the 25-year storm event. So in other words, they have to hold on to that stormwater, and I don't know where they would hold on to that stormwater with that much development happening on the site.
All right.
It was a
Fair point.
Yeah. I thought there were some really good questions there by Jared Thomas, and some some concerns that I thought there were really good concerns.
Right. Well, it's he's basically saying you might be approving that, but there are other restrictions. You got to make sure that you check with Camden County, and because there are different governing rules. So, thank you, Jared, for bringing that up point. And I think you had another one here.
Second question I had was with regards to parking. This was a comment that I brought up a couple of times. I brought it up to Janisa as well as at some of the hearings associated with recreation. The Blackwood redevelopment area where we're trying to build the art center and everything, like, my overall concern about that area is parking can suck at times when we're trying to have an event. We have a couple of major parking lots in that area which are owned by private developers. They're completely unusable. The gym that where the Rite Aid used to be, they did put up the signs that I knew that they would put up, which bars public parking in those lots, which as a result means I'm driving past a lot with 50 parking spaces, only 10 are being used. I would encourage the council to consider, like, any development in the Blackwood West redevelopment area, to consider strongly, like, if you put up a parking lot over a certain size, that it needs to allow for public parking, some sort of, I don't know if it has to be like some sort of easement or something, but just to alleviate parking, allow more events to occur in these areas that we've paved over, so that we're not going past parking lots with 50 spaces and only 10 being used by the private company. Like, if we want to encourage people to walk, we have to give them a place to park that's relatively close to where they want to be.
That Mr. Thomas is an engineer by trade, so when he starts talking stuff, it's Greek to me. But the Janiza, I'm sure you heard his comments regarding stormwater. Janiza, Ms. Corbin is our planning engineer, and you had concerns regarding parking and how to alleviate that parking. Absolutely. There has been conversations in the past about acquiring certain properties on the Black Horse Pike to provide parking for special events and for any events that take place. And I know that the signage at the gym has derailed some of the parking that has taken place there. But Mr. Carson, are those conversations still taking place, possibly acquiring something on the Black Horse Pike?
No, we're looking, but I don't know of anything right now that's
material. Okay, all right. So.
Interesting. They're looking, but they don't know anything in material.
There are a few, like Jared mentioned, there are a few lots there that are pretty big, that are private. I wonder if there could be incentives. Just thought of this seconds ago. That if there could be incentives for some of those big lots, the catering company, the gym, if they feel like their parking lots are less than 50% utilized, that they could allow some public spots there for some kind of incentive. I don't know if it's a thing. It's just something I thought of a couple minutes ago, but it is a good point. I mean, downtown Blackwood does suffer from a lack of parking.
Yeah.
So I know for big events we'd park in some of those lots, like the catering company and stuff like that, but on a regular basis, if you want to stop in one of those shops on Blackwood Clementon Road, and if the road's all backed up with parking there, I don't really know where to go.
Well, part of the problem right now is that there's not a whole lot. There's not as much demand to necessitate it at the moment. But you have to plan for the future on it. I know that they have discussed having they've discussed acquiring other places to create more parking,
Yeah.
like that. What's now a tire place down there. I think at one point that was being discussed as a purchasing
right.
for a parking lot. There was a workshop meeting recently that they said they were looking at a building, but they didn't want to like blow up the negotiations in order to like purchase it. But I believe that was the Holy Tomato building from research that I had done, and that building went up for sale. I had made a comment somewhere, or actually, I don't know how it was. So, anyway, the Holy Tomato owner had reached out and said, "Are you serious? Our building is for sale?" Like the landlord never told us anything about that. I said, "Well, yeah, it's look on LoopNet. It's right, it's right there." And if you look at the property, you have the library next to it. You have that new parking lot that was made for the bank, the bank building, and then the Holy Tomato sits in between there. Like you literally could connect the parking lot of the library to all that if you got rid of Holy Tomato. But the workshop meeting, they stated that they were not going to be disrupting any businesses downtown. Holy Tomato is literally one of the oldest like existing businesses that are down there. If you were to purchase that building to get rid of that would be a really bad look to like, hey, you got rid of literally like one of the anchors down here, of this area.
Probably the highest. If you go online too, it's probably the highest rated pizza place in Gloucester Township.
Yeah.
So there would have to be some. I think there had to be some really big favors for Holy Tomato to say, hey, look, we need this building, but we found this other one that we can get you some kind of deal on, and we'll get you, and we'll cover your cost and relocation, all that stuff.
Well, yeah, so that was an interesting. Anyway, good points by Jared Thomas. I appreciate him bringing those up. We had another new. There's a lot of new people here, so I'm not going to call them all new, but there's just people came out for this particular Blackwood project.
A lot of comments.
I shouldn't call it a project. Actually, it was the Blackwood.
A lot of
proposal.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Dino DiDomenico from Pennsylvania Avenue. I've lived on Pennsylvania Avenue for 44 years. So this redevelopment plan is certainly dear to me that it gets stopped. Because if I was to ask anyone of this board if they were going to put up a development of this size on your street that has been your residence where your kids have grown and your grandkids have grown and played, would you approve it? So my questions to you are not just that, but what is this board's role in the approval process for amendments to our zoning requirements? Who's engaged? Your engineers? I mean, you guys are just like me. We go to work every day and we come home, you serve our community. Who makes the decision to make these amendments? I'd like to know, if you were going to approve a project like this, what are your considerations that you use? Do you consider parking? Do you consider the fact that the water pressure, you may not be able to supply water to all the homes on that street? You've got storm drainage, you've got parking, forget that. How many cars do you really think a 3-bedroom townhome has? I know when my kids were young, I had 5 or 6 cars parked out front. I had 4 kids. When they all were driving, the wife and I, we had cars all over the place. And then don't forget the one that was broke down that I had to put on my lawn for a week, right?
So I kind of explained what our role is as council, as a redevelopment entity, and to hear those particular projects. Again, we have an engineer that sits at our redevelopment meeting that also reviews the applicant's information, see that if it conforms to certain standards, lot area, depth, frontage, height, front yard, rear yard, side yard, setbacks, all those type of things, and provides a letter for us to review. We have questions that take place during that process, but also another set of eyes is when it goes to the planning board. And in the planning board, if it doesn't go to the planning board, this application goes forward. Planning board, there's a public hearing, there's testimony that's taking place throughout that meeting, and that's how that process goes.
Okay. So he had some good questions there. A lot of people don't really realize what role, government is, and then what role that branch of government that you're talking to, or that, section of government that you're talking to is role. Or so that was a good lesson there for him, I guess. All right, we had Do you
So
have anything else
far,
on that?
the theme about all this is we're cramming a lot of units into a little space.
Yeah.
So that's just keep in mind that a lot of these people that are talking, they're talking about a lot of units in a little space. I forget.
Right, that's a good point. So we are talking about it's under 3/4 of an acre. It's like 0.67 of an acre, right? It's the old bank building on Church Street and Pennsylvania Avenue, the old drive-through. So that's where they were going to put 6 townhomes, 4 apartments, and a business down at the bottom, with no parking or anything to just. Yeah, a lot of stuff on that little corner.
Cramming them in, feet from each other, feet from the sidewalk. There is, it's not only is it close, but it's like it doesn't even fit in with like zoning.
It's not part of the neighborhood. Like,
So it's
imagine you're having a street and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, what is this monstrosity? Where did this come from?
Yeah,
What is this?
but even so, like our the standards that we already have set for spaces in between properties and stuff like that. This breaks all of that.
Oh yeah.
So this isn't just like people are like, yeah, you know what, these houses here. This is pretty drastic what they're trying to cram into this little spot here.
Yeah, I mean when he's asking about parking, I mean that's a great point. Like there was just actually the Windy Hills, Windy Hill, I forget the exact name of it, but up by Penco Tech.
Right across the street, right? That big area, yeah.
So just recently, I think it was maybe 2 weeks ago, at a planning board meeting. The applicant came. They needed to do some affordable housing units. They wanted to change the plan that they had, and I forget the exact numbers, but it was something like 90 units that they were going to try to reduce down to like 70 units or something along those lines. But they were changing the way that the buildings were moving and all that stuff. At any rate, the parking spots for those 2 and 3 bedroom apartments, they literally had something like, and again, don't quote me on these numbers, but it was like 70 units, and they had like 81 parking spots. And you're like, wait a minute, hold on. You literally believe that there's going to be a 3-bedroom apartment for an affordable housing unit that only requires 1 parking spot? You're going to literally create mayhem in that little tiny community because you want to change the way that the buildings are to allow you to create more non-affordable housing somewhere else, or to create whatever the reason is that you have. But you want to change all this up, and you want to only provide this many parking spaces, and then it doesn't even have the playgrounds for the children. So they're like, well, they can go. These affordable housing units, they can go onto their park over there. And going to their park requires them to go down to the Black Horse Pike, walk all the way down this. It was just a whole complete disaster of like. But the point I'm saying is like you're gonna put like 90 units or 70 units or whatever it was of housing and have 80 parking spots. Are you out of your mind? Like where do you think those other cars are gonna go?
Yeah, well, you don't flip a
are you saying that they can't afford a car? Or what are you saying? Like what is the whole thing that you're saying with this whole picture here?
Do you move into this thing? Look, if you move into this and you're single, it's fine. But if you move into it with a spouse, what do you?
You can't have somebody come visit you.
Are you flipping a coin to find out which one of you sells your car and takes public transportation that week? Like,
it's really a bad. Yeah, I mean, imagine asking somebody to come over your house, like, "Hey, stop over." Like, yeah, we'll come. We'll have coffee or
we'll shuttle you.
Order
shuttle
pizza
you over.
or something.
Yeah.
Just make sure you go park. Downtown Blackwood, there's no parking there.
Yeah. Sicklerville. Go park at Sicklerville.
Oh wait, no, you can't go that way. Try it on the Black Horse Pike. Try parking on the main street there.
Yeah.
Or you could get an Uber actually from like where are you supposed? Like, this makes zero sense, and they're like, oh, I don't know.
If you buy a house,
I mean, come on.
Don't plan on ever inviting anybody over because they're going to be annoyed.
Yeah. Oh my God.
All right, so safety concerns is another thing that came up here.
Stop creating fights. How about that? You're literally creating a fight by not providing enough parking spots for a number of units there. That's a safety concern.
Oh yeah.
All right.
It's like Philly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What Joe?
So Sharon on 13.
13?
Yep.
Sharon Dobbins, Pennsylvania Avenue. I want to first thank my neighbors for doing the due diligence of research because to be honest, I didn't. I'm here because of the safety of my community. My neighbor has 2 young children across the street from me. Every day when they're outside, I want to go over and see them. I don't want them running across the street on on Pennsylvania Avenue in increased traffic that this redevelopment can cause. We already have enough people that speed down our street. I care about my neighbors. I care about the children in our neighborhood, and I want to keep them safe. And that should be this council's first priority no matter what. So thank you.
Thank you for your comments about speeding and keeping our children safe. Ms. Becker.
Thank you.
That's
all we got.
That was it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
So,
well, there was another Becker, wasn't there? Was it 2 Becker? No, it was Dobbins.
That was Dobbins.
Yeah.
Diane Becker, Blackwood Estates, 44 years.
Good evening, Ms. Becker.
This is the one he thanked, I guess.
When
he combined them.
Apartments and condos are filled, where are they going to school? Who's paying for it?
We'll provide the answers after your comment.
My second question is the condos that are on the Blackwood Pike, why are they allowed to have that runoff big enough to call
This was a
lake?
good point she brought
And
up.
It is.
The sides are extremely steep, so a child can fall into them. They're not fenced, and when I called the township, they said, oh, they don't have to be fenced. That's up to the construction. Why? All the other ones are fenced. I have to have a fence around my backyard to have a 3-foot puddle, but they can have a lake.
Wherever these children go, so they're located in Blackwood Estates. That's the sending area for Gloucester Township Elementary School. Any children that are anyone in that area, that part of Cherry, they attend Gloucester Township Elementary School. With Windy Hill and the runoff, that is something that we're going to have our township engineer, or is that Mr. McGill? Is that something that you can help us out, or the CES or engineer regarding stormwater? Because I'm
the approved
yeah.
plans.
Okay.
Yeah, so after this comment, I'd been in the area. I used that car wash over there all the time. And I drove by there and look at it. And there's like this little plastic like net fence.
Yeah, it's like one of those snow fences.
It's set up, but the thing is, like, it's so, I don't know how deep it is. But it's so,
you could drown in like 3 inches of water. Like that's,
well, especially if you take a tumble down what is a pretty steep.
Yeah,
look,
she has
if you
a really
fall,
good point.
like if you fall, I don't think, if you were to trip on there, I don't think that you could stop yourself from sliding in. And depending on how able you are, when you hit the water, yeah, you might not make it back out.
Yeah, it's a really good point.
It is actually what I would consider. It's one of those things where we safety net a lot of stuff that I'm like, really? But this is one of those things where I'm like, how is that not a thing?
Well, that dirt mountain that was up, crawled up my, forever. Like that was like, somebody could get up. I know myself as a kid, I probably would have been climbing that, riding a dirt bike or something.
Yeah,
not
give me a bicycle, I'll
whatever.
climb anything.
It's a dangerous thing, at that dirt mountain. And now this is like the reverse of dirt mountain. It's like water hole. It's going way steep right down to this big water retention thing, and there's nothing stopping anybody from going in there.
Kids are attracted to water. Any body of water in the woods, like me and my friends used to go to. And
there's frogs, there's turtles.
It takes one slip, right, and then big issue.
All right, who do we have next? Another
Emily's up next, and look, she's talking about the same thing. The increased burden on the schools, and even brings up like the preschool lottery.
Emily Steinhauser. I live on Pennsylvania Avenue. I am the neighbor.
Pennsylvania Ave representing out here.
With the 2 young kids. Part of the reason my husband and I bought this house 6 years ago was because it was a quiet, quaint neighborhood. Not only that, we are already in a lottery system for preschool. Adding more townhomes is going to be horrible for our school system. I'm concerned about the impact to schools. I'm concerned about the safety of my children. I already have to call the cops when people speed down my street. it's going to be horrific. This should be a priority for all of you.
Ms. Steinhaus, thank you for your comments about a quiet, quaint neighborhood and your comments adding more townhomes and the impact that it have to our school and safety of our children. The developers call it FMM, F as in Frank, M as in Mary,
F as in Mary.
Real Estate Investments, LLC. That is the name of the applicant.
That was funny.
You know what I did notice in these responses? Rewind back maybe like 2 years where people are like, our schools, what are we going to do in our schools? And the comment was always, there is no issues with our schools and the amount of students that goes there. That has stopped now.
Well,
it's almost...
We literally have a district goal to work with a architect to build a new school. So maybe it's the cat's out of the bag. Like, hey, we're at the point of needing this because of the decisions that we've made to allow development, of this overdevelopment, in my opinion. Not responsible development, in my opinion. But yeah, that narrative has changed. Like, you're right. It went from...
What are you talking about? Yeah,
we're not even close to it, to being like...
Yes.
Things
might have to happen.
Yeah.
2 clips away from Denise actually going through the numbers on this.
All right.
But Beth Ann Grosso is she's got concerns over overpopulation and class size.
Beth Ann Grosso. I live on Pennsylvania Avenue, South Pennsylvania. I'm here tonight as a resident and a parent to urge you not to approve the proposed townhouse and apartment complex. We are a neighborhood that is already surrounded by apartment buildings, many of which are still not fully occupied. And we even have the vape shop on the corner that's easy to walk to. Adding more multifamily housing here will not solve any of our unmet need. It will only compound the challenges we are already facing. Let me give you a personal example. When my middle son, Sam, was in kindergarten at GTES, one of the smallest schools in the district, he had 31 children in his kindergarten class. And let me tell you, he sat on a little area rug at story time, and Mrs. C was his teacher, and it was her first year teaching. And let me tell you, this kid, I walked in his classroom as a room parent, and he was at story time, and he was literally facing the wall like this. And that is overpopulation in schools, and that's what this kind of housing does. I know that we can't guarantee that people moving into the apartment buildings and everything are going to have children, but there is a possibility, and that little school is overflowing. And it has just so many ramifications of having the overcrowded classrooms. But with that aside, there's also the traffic that's an issue, getting in and out of Pennsylvania Avenue onto Church already. And now I have a almost 17-year-old driver. We have a lot of young drivers in our neighborhood, and just the traffic challenge, the turning in and out, and to not have the visibility and have a big building on that corner is really going to affect the safety of our street there.
Ms. Grosso, thank you for your comments and for your words and indicating the challenges of traffic in that particular area.
Okay. Good points. Now let's hear how many actual units are approved.
So
we have a little rundown of.
First up we have we got Denise's request for the township's area in need of rehabilitation designation, which kind of gives them
this is what
all
I was
of the
mentioning
power.
earlier.
Yeah.
Good evening, Denise Coyne.
Good evening.
I've been asking council to schedule a discussion about the fact our township is an entire area in need of rehabilitation since the 1980s. I repeated this request in May and July and many times prior, and the council president has publicly stated more than once that this is something that council can discuss, but it's never been scheduled. Tonight's workshop meeting was canceled, and I want to ask, why was it canceled? And why has this topic affecting the entire township been ignored for years despite repeated assurances that it would be discussed? This is not a minor issue. The designation impacts every property, every resident, and every redevelopment decision in Gloucester Township. Continuing to avoid this conversation raises serious questions about transparency and accountability. The public deserves an open review of whether this designation still serves a legitimate purpose and whether it has simply been left in place without scrutiny for decades.
Township of Gloucester is considered a area of redevelopment. As you have brought that up on many occasions, and we will have a conversation regarding redevelopment here in Gloucester Township.
We will. Yeah.
I think he misspoke there. It is a township in need of rehabilitation, which is separate from a redevelopment area. Which Denise was talking about the area in need of rehabilitation, which is different. So,
there's a lot of
area in need of rehabilitation gives council the power, and it is generally in I guess best used in areas that actually need rehabilitation.
That's why they call it that?
like Cross Keys Road, right? Cross Keys Road's it's a pretty thriving areas of stores. That is not.
I would call that Hollywood and Vine.
That's not in need of rehabilitation, but it is still designated in that because the entire town is.
Oh, so it's got a
think
pilot
of,
or a
think
tax
of areas
abatement
like
or whatever?
I don't know, downtown Blackwood that we always talk about.
Right.
Make all the incentives there, make that the area in need of rehabilitation, and then maybe some other areas that come up. But
Joe, that would take our power away to do to be the unilateral say all of everything.
But back to the topic of the amount of housing being built. Listen to these numbers.
I'd like to remind council, while I have time left, how many units have already been approved of housing. And within a 1.5 mile radius of this East Church Street project they want to build, there's 827 units that have been approved. There's 71 affordable units on the Blackhorse Pike by Walgreens, 158 townhomes in Windy Hill, 220 apartments in South Winds, 250 apartments Ariel Blenheim Road down by the old skating rink. 128 townhomes have been requested to be built at 851 Lower Landing Road. And then add to that, Little Pond, 81 townhomes. Independence Boulevard, 180 apartments. Davistown Road, 360 apartments. Lakeland, Washington Township border, 120 apartments. Across from Ann Mullen, 95 townhomes and 63 houses. Almanesson Road, 12 houses. 1000 Williamstown Road, 150 townhomes. 4 townhomes in Almanesson. That's another 1,065 units. So that's 2,000 units right there. And then we have the ones that have been proposed and not built yet. Freeway Golf Course, 229 houses and 567 townhomes. Nike Base, 150 townhomes. Lakeland, 1,627 high-density housing, and Vision Stream, 823 units. So that's a lot of housing. And I'd like to know at what point in time is enough enough? Thank you.
All right. I'm glad that someone keeps track of how many units are built.
I've thought, just listening to that again, and I had the same thought when I listened to it the first time, was, what a resource Denise is for this township.
For the people.
For the people. Oh yeah, for the people, for sure. Because everyone is somewhat up to speed on the stuff that's being built within their block or slightly beyond.
Case in point, this was all Pennsylvania Avenue showed up for this here.
Right.
Nobody beyond that.
But nobody really knows the entire scope of it other than just a few people.
Right.
And it is, man, it is
massive. Yep.
How much building is going on, and it's just there's no more upsetting testament to that than when you just drive and see like deer on people's front yards.
Oh, yeah.
Now. It's crazy that they have nowhere to go, and it's heartbreaking for me. I mean, I know that they get overpopulated and stuff like that, but still, the fact that there is nowhere.
It's a symbol of others that you might not see.
It's a symbol. That's exactly what it is. So, think about all the people that have talked here and all the issues that have come up. It's schooling, it's traffic, it's safety. A lot of different themes here going on. There's one theme that wasn't mentioned.
Stormwater. It's there's the water pressure because of how many units are literally on that that street now, because that area. It's not like this is a brand new thing and they're putting new infrastructure in. This is like one of the older sections of town, right? Like the Glendora is much well established. You have Blackwood Estates. Like it's not like they're putting new infrastructure is set. You're like, oh, now we're just going to add all this stuff here. So, like, the guy brings up, water pressure. They have stormwater. Like, all these are valid concerns. That's where you're going with this, right? Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're all, and I specifically went through and played everyone's. I watched the whole meeting, and I got to a certain point where the next comment comes up, and I thought I have to include every one of the concerns here because they're all really valid concerns, and I have to play them all because the final concern that came out from one of our council members really upset me. And that's the last thing that we have here for a clip. And I guess before we go into anything else, I'd just like to say that my opinions are my own and not associated with anybody else that has anything to do with GTObserver. That includes
not even me.
Not even you.
Okay, so we are two different people.
This is look the notes on tonight's meetings were all done. Clips were all pulled by me. So this is this was kind of me reacting to how my feelings were about this here.
I'm going to address something and I did write down everything that you guys said, which were concerns for your community, as you put it, and it's the tough one for me. Because in Gloucester Township, I've been here 40 years plus, and I've watched the town be a very diverse and inclusive community. I want to make sure that the concerns that you all share is truly about the stated concerns that you talked about: density. You talked about the MUA restriction, parking issues, increased traffic. School concerns due to overcrowding. I want to make sure that it's not about inclusive, a diverse community that we're not talking about, that would bring in more of a diverse neighborhood, and that is not something that you want. That's a hard conversation for me as a person of color. I know that Gloucester Township is a big melting pot. And so these are all important issues that you share, but I want to make sure that that's not one of the reasons you don't want this project in your community. I'm bringing up.
Excuse me, hold on, Ms. Grace. Those that are having, Ms. Paris, please don't shout out. Those that are having conversations, please take them out in the hallway. Please let the council and continue our comments,
I'm bringing up an issue that has come upon my heart as I sit here and listen to your concerns, but I don't see any diversity inclusion in the audience. So I wondered where those other people in your community, and I get it. I mean, but Gloucester Township is a diverse community. I'm just making sure that this project is a stop project for you because of diversity and inclusion.
Man, how dare you take those people's concerns and turn it into what I would consider a generally disgusting label to put on somebody. That's my thought. Those people don't seem to have that on their mind at all. At all. They brought up, and that's why I played every single one of them. They went through every one of their concerns, and none of them gave a hint about the diversity of our township. And this woman, who has in the past,
she's put out
used
race accused me of being a racist. I'm not going to comment on this thing here because I was warned that this was bait. For me,
and somebody actually reached out to me and they said,
"Put a comment.
You guys shouldn't touch this. But to me, this was very insulting to the people that came out for that particular thing to say that had anything to do with it, and
their motives were questioned.
Yes, that their motives were questioned for just questioning their governing body here. It really bothers me a lot, and it's been more than once for this particular individual that has brought something like this up that I think has to stop. And I don't know. I'm curious. I heard some people. I wasn't at the meeting. I heard some people kind of shout out, and I guess there were some discussions going on in the background. But it is I don't know. It was a topic that I thought needed to be discussed, and I think should be an embarrassing topic for Councilwoman Grace Love that brought this up, and somewhat accused these people of this that had nothing to do with it. So I don't know. That bothered me a lot.
Somewhat, or did she actually? I guess she questioned it.
She floated around. She floated around the accusation, but I thought it was very distasteful because these people, some have lived here 40 years. They have concerns. They don't need to be labeled.
I didn't hear. It's my own opinion. I didn't hear anything that wasn't a valid concern that any resident anywhere in living on that street would have. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a very sensitive week for labeling people certain things and stuff that happens. So it was a thing that had come up and had really upset me long before some of the actions that have happened this week. But that's the end of that council meeting there.
That was it.
And that's not bad. That was 20. We got an hour 22 minutes in. On 20 some clips here. We've
Thank you for being very respectful.
All right.
That's one of my new favorites. If you guys haven't already, by the way, we've covered this a couple times, but if you live on Pennsylvania Avenue and you're like, man, I really don't know how to find out what's happening in our township, subscribe to our podcast. If you know anybody who lives on Pennsylvania Avenue or any one of the places near the 5,000 places that are being built on, we've probably covered them all, I'm sure.
Yeah.
If it's gone in front of council, we've covered it. Subscribe to the podcast and get all of our extreme views on what's going on here in this township. And we will be delayed on the next. We will be delayed a little bit, kind of like we were this week. A little bit of scheduling issues after next council meeting to get the next meeting out. So
hang in there. We got a lot going on.
Be patient. There'll be a summary of next council meeting. And I don't know if you watch the next council meeting and you have questions on there and you're like, man, I really have a question about that particular comment, either email Joe at GTObserver.com. I'll be on vacation, but you can either Keith at GTObserver.com and
we'll get back to you.
Let us know what you want addressed in the council meetings, and we will address it on our next show. So
all right, thanks, folks. We'll see you guys soon.